Good morning, senior citizen, and happy new month. My name is Adebanjoluwa Femi Emmanuel, pension advisor with OFJ. And I'm here today to talk about life after retirement, senior citizens life. And I'm here live at Shagam Local Government, Ogijo to be precise, Ogun State, where I'm here to meet one of the prominent senior citizens, a senior educationist, retired with Lagos State Ministry of Education, Deputy Director. I'm here, Director to be precise. I beg your pardon. So I'm here with him just to share about his experience, also to celebrate him and to see how he's doing life after retirement. Go.
Famakinwa, I retired as the Director of Education. Work with Lagos State Ministry of Education. And I retired I spent over 31 years of retirement. And since my retirement, I think life has taken another dimension. Yeah, life after retirement. With my junior colleague before I retired, we are so cordial to the extent that people call me Papa Boys. Why? Because of the rate at which I relate with everybody. I relate with them as if we are on the same level. But that doesn't mean that when it is time for you to do your work, you will not do it. You have to do it. That is fine. And with my colleagues after retirement, I think we have been communicating per se. We communicated, but the only thing is the way you see them, the way you no longer see them because you are far apart. You can't see yourself except through media, through internet. You communicate, messenger, and WhatsApp. That is all. And talking about after retirement with my colleague, relationship with them. Peradventure, if some of them are still calling me, and peradventure I have opportunity to go outside Ogijo to Lagos. When I visit them, it's as if I shouldn't go back to where I came from. It's another life entirely. And life generally, after retirement, there are certain expenses, certain things you do which you have to curtail yourself. You are no longer buying trousers and shirts and every other thing that you are going to wear. Money for the transportation is out of it. You'll be able to conserve little amount you have. Pending the time, the pension of the thing, the pension will answer you, penko. And after that, by and large, I come to realize that it is usually very better before you retire to get something in place in mind you want to do. Because there is no amount of money you save. Majority of the civil servants, especially teachers, will live on loan. Before you retire, you must have obtained loan to do one thing or the other. And after retirement, the little amount loan you have over there is better. It's better to have something in mind to start. If you are retiring in the next 2-3 years, get something done at your own leisure, so that by the time you fully pull out of the service, you can have something to fall back on. Life will never be as difficult as expected with other pensioners who never got anything doing before they retire. I think it's very essential to do that kind of a thing in order to pave way for your understanding, for your life.
Now, you can share your experiences on the businesses you have done at retirement, including now.
Yeah. Thank you for more. No, it's quite it's a sorry case, because I think it is most ideal for somebody to start doing something before you finally retire.
Yes.
So that by the time you finally disengage from the service, you can see something to fall back on. But in my own case, I decided to go into agric something. This agric something by federal government loan. But by and large, we combine together, pull our resources together, a group of us, form an association. But alas, we had invested some money on this thing. up till now, it never saw the light of the day. And the government officials at the BOI or Central Bank, they wanted to grant everybody 1 million, and they were demanding for 360,000 out of that 1 million, which is payable on interest rate of 9% per year, 9%. Shall you understand? And on the basis of this, you discover that if you are giving me money and you still expect me to pay you back, to
allegedly,
yes, to pay you back, out of that 1 million, you want to collect 300. How much is left for me to do the business? That is why the loan never saw the light of the day. And it is my advice to everybody: if you know you don't know the nitty-gritty of what you want to do, the business you want to do after retirement, please don't step into it. Don't step into it, because it has a lot of implications. And if you don't have that heart, if you are not stony, you don't have lion heart, somebody can develop high blood pressure and die prematurely. Why? Because in as much you have actually packaged yourself, you think this thing is going to result to this, and there are some charlatans, business charlatans, that will come to you that yes, if you do this, you will do that. If you do this, it's a lie. It's a rules. Don't follow them. Don't agree with them. Except it's a thing you are strongly convinced that this, when you handle this, you will do it yourself. Don't rely on people. Just rely on what you can do with your own money and with your own hands. That will prepare you to be greater. It will help you to land in the promised land. You end up in the promised land. But the moment you start depending on people, alas, it might not pay you.
Good.
I pray you don't regret it.
Just as you said, as an educationist, you spent 35 good years growing your career as an educationist, and going into business is another complete different game. So it is better, as you're going into the business, you learn it and you are sure what you're doing, than just because being an educationist, this man is an entrepreneur, let me depend on the skills, you give him money, is a no. Good. Now, if I may also ask, what has been your relationship with family and friends after retirement? Because while in service, I know you're a very good giver, you're a cheerful giver, everybody comes around. At retirement, has it been so?
It's not. It's not. You see, right from time I'm so empathic. I will tell you what I want to do. I will do. If I don't want to do, I won't do. Even when I was receiving salary, what those things that I can afford, I will tell you I can afford this. This I cannot afford. Now that I am retired, if you see anything, my wife will always say, I will tell her, no, come on. This is my nature. I will tell you, I'm not receiving anything now. So you don't expect me to heavens to fall. You want to do something, you expect me something, but don't expect. Don't expect. And you dare not incurring debt, knowing fully well there is no source of money to pay the debt. Cut your materials according to your size, not your clothes. Your materials. That is my candid advice to prospective retirees.
Good. You retired as a director with Lagos State Ministry of Education, and it took you how long before your pension came, and how have you been able to survive financially from your date of retirement to when you got your bond?
We have to thank God, because nobody can claim, even if you have millions in separate places, money that you have that don't work is not it's not accruing interest.
It's not. You are not servicing. It's not.
You is being depleted on daily or monthly basis. The money will go, will disappear. What I just give the glory to God Almighty, and at the same time I thank my wife for being an understanding woman. Because by the time I was working, I don't know if I have anything. I said, please, let us do whatever you want to do. Now that I retired, it has been the sole financial of the family. But I thank God, having worked I retired 2018, and they are just paying my pension.
Very few months again, few months away.
So you can be, since that time to this, all the school fees, my children and every other thing, how we eat, my wife has been doing it.
For good 2 years, you have to wait 2 years before your pension is being paid.
So it's to God be the glory. And for somebody, I thank God for giving me my own wife. You know, even men, we are full of caprices, behavior. But we still manage with ourselves.
Sir, I would like to ask you of your honest opinion about the new contributory pension scheme as a senior citizen and also a direct beneficiary.
I think President Obasanjo, the XYZ President of Nigeria, has meant well for the retirees based on his own personal experience. That when retirees, when civil servant retires like that, what actually happens is their money will not come from as when due, while their gratuities are not being paid. But with this pension, introduction of pension scheme, I think that one has eliminated this. But I have, and it's a means of short change to the retirees. They short change the retirees. Why? Because the amount you are going to collect after retirement, if it were to be old scheme, you collect your lump sum, and at the same time the government or your employer will begin to pay you about 70% or 80% of your monthly salary. Invariably, with this now, the pension, with the advert of income, the retirees are being short-changed, and at the same time, the people saddled with the implementation of this thing, being a Nigerian or being Nigerians, they can't do without circumventing the laws so as to gain something from it by getting the money, pay somewhere, they manipulate things, so to speak, and to the bottleneck as per how to be clarified. For you to be clarified to be able to access your money is another bottleneck. You don't need to go to your employers, submit this, submit that, since they have computerized the whole thing. It is their responsibility to go into the computer system. Information required as per Mr. A, get the information. Like those of us in Teaching Service Commission, with the Lagos State, you have your Oracle number. They use your Oracle number to track whatever information they have to track from you. What is the essence of coming to this place, submitting this, submitting that, coming here for this, coming for this, coming for that? How many times you submit, get letter of this, get letter of, even though you did not obtain any loan from the state government, they will ask you to come and write letter, get clarification letter from this, even though you don't receive copper. State government did not give you copper as loan since the inception of your service with them. They didn't, and lo and behold, is an avenue to do what? To delay the prospective retirees from accessing their fund. I think it is by and large, they might meant well, but it's not ending well with the retirees because they over delay them. They are dejected. For instance, some of my colleagues, I lost 2 of my colleagues during this process.
Wow.
He didn't receive his salary, his pension till tomorrow. The guy died just around December.
Wow.
He died. He didn't receive it. And one, when we were about to disengage from it, and he died. And a lot, that is for those that I know. All of the people I don't know. A lot of people are like that. They don't access their.
Okay. Now, going forward, what's your advice to Pencom on how they can get this better? But I also think you get it also mixed up. You know, Lagos State is also different from Lagos State has their own pension body, while the overall body is Pencom. Now, I know Lagos State process could be long for it. It has taken you 2-3 years, but the overall Pencom body will have to be Pencom. What's your advice on Pencom going forward so that other people retiring, it will be faster?
Pencom at the national level, they roll out instructions, rules and regulations guiding the state Pencom. They have it. So they are supposed to play supervisory role over the state pension, where they are mixing it. You are supposed to correct them. They are lacking in that area simply because they are not federal government workers directly. Be it as it may, nothing stops you as the body, national body, controlling the state body. If they are not doing it, when you roll out the instruction, this is how it should be done, this is how it should be done. I don't think they have to delay anything. That bottleneck shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have been there. I think it's a ploy by the state to make some money from the spend their money anyhow before they repay them to the bank. Because at the end of it all, after filling all the documents and everything, when the last spec must have certified that yes, you have met all the requirements, they now forward it to the bank of Abuja for onward payment. So they should be able to exercise control, authority over the way and manner these issues are handled at the state level.
Good. What's your advice for prospective retirees and young employees?
Yeah, my advice to prospective
ahead of retirement.
My advice is this: when you have about 4 or 5 years to retirement, start preparing. Start doing something you want to fall back on. Don't wait until a year or 2 years before you do that. Because when you start it, if it hits rough at the beginning, in the first year, assuming you are planning it for 5 years, it remains 4 years, you can reset yourself again. All the loopholes that made it to hit the rough, you can try and block the loopholes, make the adjustment so that you're able to make it. So before your retirement, you must have been stabilized. You must have been stabilized before that time. So when you finally destabilize, whether they pay you in a year or 2 years, you wouldn't feel it. Why? Because you have something to fall back on that is bringing in income at least to a minimum, barest minimum, that can take care of domestic things.
Okay. Having said that, as a director, Ministry of Education, what are you currently doing now?
I'm relaxing myself. I don't want, because you say as you have retired, you want to do this, you want to build castle in the air, somebody is digging, you'll be digging his grave. Just take the life very easy. Now I have lived the normal life I want to live. Why work? If God says you are going to make it, you will make it. Don't take unnecessary risk that will further give you a problem you never imagined.
But while we were shooting this video, we noticed you had to pause because someone knocked and asked to buy something. Are you into any trade, sales, or are you going to consultancy on education?
Before I retire, we just have 2 shops in my house. And that 2 shops just in lieu of my retirement and that of Madam, although I own it not now. But I just decided to buy some electrical materials like bulbs, sockets, and what have you, so that those things that might be needed in my vicinity, my environment, so that I can.
Electrical appliance.
Bulb, yes, electrical appliances.
Okay. How did you see? Was it something you already doing, or something you just thought of? And you decided not to go far, just look at your community and look at their needs.
I decided to look at my community. If I say I want to go and rent shop, I don't know how much I will make at the end of the month. And at the same time, if I say I want to go outside my vicinity, it means I bought Okada and enter motor. Where if I enter motor 200 naira, I'm full. On getting there, I didn't sell 300 naira. And so I will trade back home of what is labor loss. So the best thing is to start from your environment, from your home. Start from your home, You are not going to pay for the shop. So if I see kobo, if it is 1 naira interest, 1 naira profit, I know Ajemonu meaning is for me. I will not use that to enter Okada home and left with nothing at the end of the day. So that is the idea behind it.
Wow. You know, being an educationist for 35 years and now retired an entrepreneur, and you know the soul of every entrepreneur is to make profit. But from your analysis, I'm not sure the sole aim of setting that business is not really to make profit, just as you are saying cover.
You see, like I said, even though if you had invested 1 million in a business, 2 million in a business, it is when God prospers you that you can make profit. You understand? But the adage says, little drops of water makes an ocean.
Mighty ocean.
You don't start big. Just if a drop of water is flowing, it's just dropping. You know, before they break, the bucket can full. But you open the tap, the thing rush through after 5 minutes. The bucket is full. And you can wait till 5, 6, 7 days. But this one is on daily basis. You are seeing it. If it is 30 naira, 100 naira. If you want to buy 100 naira something, I don't think you have to beg anybody before you see it.
Wow, that's so good. That like they said, the journey of a mile starts from a step.
Yes.
That was good. That was very, very good. I'll be sticking around. Are you keeping safe? COVID-19. Are you keeping safe? What's your take on the current economic situation of this country and globally?
The economy of the country and the global as large. The thing is, like I did mention the other time, I said you have to cut your materials according to your size. You understand? You don't have to buy more than what you can show at a time. You try to be self-sufficient with whatever you have. Don't allow somebody is doing this, I love this thing. So you have your total money, instead of conserving it and spread it the way you spend it, you now decided to take the money at the time and invest it on buy that particular material thing or that particular thing. You buy it. After purchase of that thing, you are left with nothing. So definitely it will bite hard on you. The economy will bite. But in a situation, you have to draw the scale of preference. What are the things do you need? My school fees, the school fees of my children, are they being met? That one, separate, get it apart somewhere, so that your children will not be out of school. You have money to educate them. Another thing is, I'm not going to anywhere now. Nothing. If I'm going to any party,
no one there.
No one there. And if it happens that I have to go, I don't have to go and decide to obtain materials on credit because I want to satisfy you, or because I want people to see that I have arrived. No, even when I was working, I don't behave like that I have arrived. I only do according to my financial capacity to be able to carry me.
So it's good to stick around. I'll stick around. We will still come, watch your progress. What I'm trying to do is to make sure retirees, senior citizens, are not left idle at retirement. They are not just left alone. We come around, we visit them, we ask them questions. You never can tell who this video will inspire so that they won't make mistake at retirement and plan for it. You never can ever tell. Tomorrow this video can go viral and TVC will call you and ask you 1 or 2 things, maybe on education. I also advise you, just don't keep your brain idle. You are a wealth of experience, especially on education. Maybe you just pick up a book and write. Just do something. This is another phase. This is completely another phase, and this phase is going to be another life entirely, just like you have experienced. And you need to be. I just wish you all the best, and I pray the next time I'm going to be visiting you, maybe you will have gotten an appointment from Ministry of Education, Lagos State. I also thank you for having me.